right now.
All right, we're rolling. We're back, baby.
Yes, it's about time. It's about time, isn't
It's
it?
actually fucking great to be back. Like I've just been, it feels real good. I was really excited for this.
We'll get on to your boy in a minute, but I guess we've been a bit slack in getting any sort of videos out, mainly because of my fault. But our man Michael was big on Ed Richards about 2 months ago, and now what's happened? Now we look like we're just following everyone's what's the word? I can't even think of my words.
Just being
I'm
a sheep.
excited. Yeah, just being a sheep. And now everyone's on that big man Ed when we've always had a soft spot for Ed because he's shown potential. And I think it's just funny that everyone's just flocking to Ed after the Chalor injury. He was a gun before the Chalor injury.
I was going to say he was going to do it before the injury. He was still going to do it.
Yeah. It is what it is. I mean, there's always just going to be a big player that gets mentioned and it's all hype, but it's just a shame that it was our pod. It's our point of difference. So we have
he's only at 2% owned at the moment still.
What? Oh, it feels like that. It feels like 50%, probably on if you go on Twitter or something, and everyone's just raving about big man Ed. But yeah.
Like as it stands right now, I can trade out this Bulligan. It stands right now. Ed Richards is at fucking 2% owned, right under Matthew Kennedy.
Jeez. I know who I'd be picking.
I know. But you know what's crazy? I feel like a lot of people are more leaning towards the Sanders pick over Richards.
Well, I did, to be fair. I mean, Sanders, I think we're going to do a little bit more of a deep dive in the next episode, but there are some smokies around 300K. I think there's just, will he just get bevoed? We know what Luke Beveridge is like. He's a home wrecker for us.
Is it crazy to run all three of them, you think?
I think it definitely is crazy because I was going to go with my team in a minute, but I have 2 Bulldogs and then they share a bye with North and
Sydney.
Carlton from memory, and Sydney maybe.
North, Carlton, Sydney, I think.
And that's going to be the key, I guess, is trying to avoid that bye. But you just don't want to carry too many players, and we've already got a heap of them anyway that are SuperCoach relevant. So if you went all 3, fucking hell, I think you're just going to ride off round 12. You just cop it on the chin, and hopefully the points are, for those 12 weeks.
I don't think it's as bad as you're saying. I think it's a lot more chill. Like round 12 is so far away.
It is.
You could trade Sanders by then.
Exactly, and that's the thing, right? I mean, he's a forward player. Mid forward, I'm pretty sure Sanders. So he could actually, I think he could be a keeper, but he is Bevo as well. Like you just look at Jack McRae, for example. He was around that price, and you go, he could definitely be, a primo. And then he just gets put half forward. But I think the Treloar injury helps Sanders a lot. I think that Ed was just going to be in the centre, in my opinion. It didn't really change. Maybe he'd score a little bit more because he gets the pill. But I think Sanders is the next go. But now Kennedy, who you mentioned, he'll get more of a crack in there. So I just don't think I can trust that.
What's annoying is that if anyone paid attention, and we're getting right into it instantly, but if anyone paid attention, like Ed Richards was training in the pure mid the whole of preseason. I think it was just going to be him in the middle the whole time.
Well, and you got to think about it. We've talked about this at length because we love him so much, and we love the other guy that I'm going to mention. But Libba's what, 33 now, I think.
Yeah.
So he's getting old, and last year he got a few concussions. I don't think it was any sort of calves or hammies, those kind of injuries. But I mean, surely he's slowing down a little bit, but he will get I mean, he'll be helpful Libba anyway because he'll get Richards the ball and he'll, kick it in the 50 because that's how Richards was getting all his points.
Yeah. Lib is
Yeah,
like you're more like a bull midfielder. Richards is more of like a running outside player.
yeah, yeah.
But my God, he runs.
I just wanted to get this off my chest and just change the subject a little bit, but we just spoke about this earlier. But
Okay.
is Bailey Smith is Bailey Smith basically living rent free in our heads? I just want to put that out there because I'm sick of him already. I like everyone's picked him. We don't even know if he's actually going to be that good, but he's got a mid. He's going to play full time mid. But
Yeah, I've heard he's got the keys to the city down there. Everyone's just
I
getting
think
down
I,
on two knees.
I think he was given the keys probably when he did his ACL. A week after he did his ACL, they're like, "Here you go, mate. Here's a house in Geelong,
Here's a new
right
Cotton
near the
On
beach."
deal.
Yeah,
Here's a
yeah.
house.
And then they
Come
got
out on my boat.
3 weeks later, all right, top off, start modeling for Cotton On. But he's everywhere, that man. Didn't you say you logged on to YouTube and he was the first person you seen? I
Yeah,
go
we're
into my
talking shit
local
about it.
shopping center and he's fucking there. I go on my SuperCoach, I go on my Twitter. He's just everywhere, and I'm actually getting sick of it. And I don't want to be, stubborn like I always am, but he's worth fading just for
Just because he's a dickhead.
he's everywhere. I can't stop thinking about him. I'll be dreaming about him soon.
Gonna have posters. Maybe we should just turn it around and be number one fanboys of Bailey.
Yeah, but that's the problem. That's what everyone's doing, and I mean,
Mate, people love him.
he's
People
coming off an
love Bailey
ACL.
Smith.
He's coming off an ACL. Is he going to be the man that everyone says? Because it takes a year, doesn't it, to get better?
I wouldn't have a clue.
I don't know.
But who else? You know what we have to think of though. No one else is contesting him in that midfield. They don't have anyone in there.
Yeah, they've got Holmes. They've got Danger, who's older.
He's old.
Who's the other ones that just haven't got it right in front
Mate,
of
they
me?
were running fucking Jai Clark through there
Tanner
last
Bruin.
year.
Oh,
Tanner Bruin is not there yet. He'll come.
Hey, I know. We're coming on here, and I'm fucking really excited. And then I just hear Jai Clark get named. You may as well call him Jordan Clark because that's what you were calling him last year because that's how much you cared about him. I had him
last year. Jordan Clark.
I'm sorry. I had him in my team until like round 16. Seriously. Oh my God.
I can't believe you had
I forgot about him all pre-season.
So long. And people reached out, relatives told us to leave him alone.
I've got to look this up because he was pick 8, wasn't he?
I don't know. He's a high pick. He was highly praised.
Anyway, let's just say pick 8. He's the worst pick 8 of all time. I'm calling it. I am calling it.
Of all time.
I will look up the pick 8s and I'll get back to you.
Hey, buddy, Jack Watts was putrid and he was pick 1.
Look, Jack Watts is a far better player than Jai Clark. Let's not, it's 8 minutes in. People have already tuned out from that. You can't be comparing Jack Watts to Jai Clark, mate. What are we doing here?
Okay, let's continue. We jumped pretty quickly into fucking into talking about Ed Richards, but tell us about how you went last year. Because we stopped the back end. We stopped as soon as it got to like finals time. You didn't tell the people what happened.
Well, I think I was running Cozzy Pickett and Mackay. To give people that are new to the podcast, I've essentially blown all my trades again from last year, and I literally round 14 I had no trades, or round 16, and then I used my last 2 trades, but one involved Cozzy and it involved Cozzy F7 and Mackay F6. Anyway, there was just
putrid stuff.
Mate, just wait for it. So I knew. So I actually benefited from it because I think Dacos got that injury, and there were a few big players that got injured, and you couldn't field full teams. And then by the last round, I got into the two of my SuperCoach Cash League grand finals, and Cozzy Pickett got 122, I think McKay was injured actually, so McKay obviously didn't work. So maybe we should be just applauding Cozzy Pickett at F6 and winning me 2 cashies.
The
It's pretty
biggest
crazy.
fluke of all time that he just came through and like we called it, but
Yeah,
he didn't play the position that we thought he was going to play.
yeah,
So he just
exactly.
just
It
lit it
was
up on the board
garbage.
line.
I was calling him to be, the savior in that midfield hit, but it ended up being Trent Rivers. But I think I actually finished around, I think it was 2.5K ranking. So it was,
Which is great.
yeah, and I guess I got very lucky. I think with no, it wasn't Dacos that was out because I vice captained him at round 23. There was someone big that went out. I think it was Kerno as well that went out. But because
Yeah,
Nick
Kerno went
Dacos,
out. Kerno was
it's a long time
that much
ago.
better.
But
Yeah.
his Dacos scored 186 and I had him vice captain. So a lot went my way. But I think that helped me with rankings as well because everyone didn't have any bench players. And Mana. Don't forget Mana. Johnny Mana got
Oh yeah,
he
don't forget
carried me.
Manor.
He carried me.
Um, yeah, so
What
you
about
came
you?
around came
Well,
away with 2K, hey.
yeah.
That
Uh,
$2,000?
no, $1,000. 500. I think it's oh no, it might have been 2K.
Nah,
Yeah.
it's 2K, 1,000 each cashy.
Each time. Yeah. It's a
That's
long time
fucking
ago,
that's
mate.
a big end. That's like a great little, you know, nothing better than winning both cashies and cashing in.
Yes.
Like one's great, let alone two.
Yeah, I'm very happy
Um,
with that. What about you?
I went fucking shocking. I reckon I traded myself into a hole last year. Just I was versing you in the prelim to get into the grand final.
Yep.
And um I needed essentially Will Day needed to score 100 for me to beat you. And he scored like a fucking 50 or something because he played full forward. And it was just it's just fucking fantastic. Um, what else fucked me last year? Will Day definitely kicked me in the teeth.
There
Um,
was a couple of them. It's so long ago
Kerno.
now.
Yeah, I can't even remember how to
Kerno
get to
was a
my
big one.
team.
Kerno, everyone
Kerno
was
really hurt.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I can't even remember what my team was, but it wasn't good at the end. I mean, Lloyd Meek was all right, but it was no Sherry. And I guess you should have paid up and got Big Tristan.
Because if you go season rank, I'm just doing this on the fly, then I can actually
Hmm.
be accurate. Oh, so I was wrong. So 3.8K that I finished, I think. But you can
Where
look
do
at
I
it
see it?
yourself.
Sorry.
So if you go classic
Hmm.
and then history at the top, and then season rank, and then you just got to change that top left to 2024. It will tell you your rank around 24.
I can't find history.
So
Wait, ladies and gentlemen, just give us a sec. Watch this. Share my
so
screen.
field list history at the top.
Just wait, you fucking drongo. Can you see
Yep.
this?
Yeah. So see where it says field.
No? Ah. Season rank. Nothing. Oh,
Yes.
2024.
Fuck
There we
man.
go. I finished 2,483. Oh, no,
Mate,
that's my points scored overall. 7K. Oh, that hurts.
8. Round it to 8.
8K. Yeah, that's right. A 79.03. It's a real big drop. Look at this. Into 4K, then boosh, straight
Yeah.
out to 7K. What hurt me these weeks?
So once again, just a little bit of banter, but I actually bet you again, Michael, in the overall rank. Every year you charge real like high in the ranks, and
Mate, I beat
you
you
always
I beat you the year before that.
2023.
Yeah.
We'll do this on the
17, 8,
fly.
9.
Gonna
8,
have to
1.
you're gonna have to edit.
17, 8, 1.
1781. All right.
Yeah. What would you get?
2024, yeah?
2023.
Three.
3. 3.
2,243. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, fucking
fuck.
plum. I beat you that year. Yeah. Hey, you fucking
Um,
Jerry cunt.
all
So it's
right.
1-1.
How about you show your team and tell people how you're
All
thinking,
right.
and then we can move on to the big stuff in a separate
Yeah,
pod.
let's do it. So team reveal, team reveal and strategy. This year I am thinking. Oh, let me tell you about the team, and then I'll tell you what like kind of the strategy I'm thinking about it. Um, at the moment, I don't think I want Holmes there. Let me just quickly fix this. I kind of want it like this, and I'm just going to put. Let's just put a Phil player here, just for the time being. Who's it going to be?
Shall we?
Okay, let's just put there Coleman. It's not going to be Coleman, but let's just do it for fucking sake. So I'm going to start with Harry Sheasel, and I think this is 100% lock. Now I'm tossing up between Whitfield and Sinclair. At the moment, I'm kind of leaning towards Whitfield just because I don't want to be on the other end of that. And if you have a look at their, where is it?
That's the buy. It's really the buy, I reckon.
It's
Like,
the buy hurts, but I think he will
no,
like
but it won't
outdo the
hurt.
buy.
It'll actually won't hurt. That this is the thing, right? He, if you um, check your players, but I'm pretty sure only one or two players are pretty much missing. Obviously, it's team dependent, but there's not many players on that round two buy. So I guess you can get away with Whitfield, and then he's playing. I don't know when his next buy is, but he'll provide coverage during afterwards. For the um, mid-season buys because
So they've got the buy with Gold Coast in round 3,
yeah,
and then they have a buy in round 12 where
so they got the 12.
Brisbane North and Sydney.
So really,
So
it's backing him in regards to the scoring ability. Just the
yeah,
round
I
two
think he
buy
has a
won't hurt you.
really, really good like first couple games. Not Colin. Where we go? West Coast and St Kilda in the first
And
5
Melbourne,
games,
Melbourne usually
and
leak
Melbourne.
points from last year. Yeah,
Like this is where you want to make up that ground. And if I look at, I'm only really just looking at the first couple games.
yeah,
I don't really care about the other amount, because this is when you do like your biggest jump in ranks is in this first little patch. You don't give a fuck about the rest of the year. And they've got Richmond, which is great, but there's no one else here really who I'm like, oh wow, they're going to leak heaps of points. Maybe Adelaide, but I think Adelaide will be a different team this year. I think they'll be really good. What do you
yeah.
think?
I think with Sinclair he's got a good he's got a great track record. Um, last when he was previously playing back, and the reports are that he's playing back. So everyone's it's a bit of nostalgia really that they
Mm,
know how good he is, and he'll be back to the role. Noting that McRae and all the others are back, but I
mm,
just think Witt last year, his last half of the season was just incredible. Like all they do
mm.
is use him. I just guess it's just a sort of there's a little warning marker against his name because every 20 minutes he's like getting a HIA or but I don't knock it at all. And he's not actually that expensive, really. Like
Oh, he's pretty
he
expensive.
598
But he's priced at
for what he's
100. He's priced at 110, 111.
yeah.
He has to score over 111 every game to keep his price.
But if you were looking at his back half of the year, I'm pretty much what he was doing from memory. You could have a look at it.
Yeah, well, that's why he's priced it. Back out of last year,
I don't
he
see that
went
I don't see it
113,
dropping off.
137, 133, 152, 97, a 106, and a 153. Like they're really good scores, hey.
Mm, yeah,
Um,
I rate him.
but you can also make the exact same case for Sinclair. Like back half of Sinclair's year, and he's priced at 110, so the exact same.
Same.
Um, Not as good actually. You got 143, 110, 88, 140, 99, 142, 123, 86. a 111,
Yeah.
you know. But they're a completely different team this year, St Kilda. And
I
like you
I
said, he's
think
gonna
they'll
be
be
playing in the
shitter.
back line.
I think they'll be shitter.
Do you reckon they'll be worse?
Yeah. Mark mark it down. St Kilda, bottom 4.
They
One-eyed
can't
pod's already.
possibly get worse than they are.
Philippu's out. Marshall's gonna miss first little
I
bit of
Marshall will still
games.
hurt.
Zach Jones was injured, not that he's any, importance
Zach
at the
Jones.
moment. I think they've got a few injuries, but I think Harry Boyd, the rookie that we're all picking, he's got a pec issue at the moment.
Really?
Um, yeah, I haven't looked too far into it. I just looked at a sort of report.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they'll finish bottom 4. I'm just putting it out there. They've got who's their stars? Let me ask you that. Jack McRae's not going to save the day.
You're Jack Steele. You've got Sinclair. You've
Steele,
got
Steele,
what's that?
Steele.
Yeah,
Fuck,
you've he's
mate.
old, but and he's struggling at the moment, but
I would love to.
he's
I
still a
cannot wait
gun.
to see a McRae and Steele combo in the midfield, and just them. They're just Steele's just going to have to tackle, and McRae's just going to have to try. He'll get the ball, of course, but it's going to be one of the slowest midfields. Now Philippu's out. Who is their bursting pace? Like it's just going to be, like we're from the hills, so they won't really know it. But if you're from Victoria, it's like the Puffing Billy, really. That midfield, it's just a slow, slow fucking. It'll get there, but
I'm actually trying to think of their like, guns right now, and I'm really struggling. I mean, they got Nas.
yeah. And Nass has been reportedly, um, been playing off half back and showing good signs. But I think that was the same reports as last year. I think it's literally the same as, but you could say the same with every sort of player that we're looking at until preseason comes in. We
Mm,
can't really, yeah, comment on anything really.
yeah. So I've gone Mills as well. I think it's a lock at the moment. If he's playing midfield, we've seen, or I haven't seen because I've only been playing the last 3 years, but from all reports, goes absolutely mental in the midfield on Supercoach. So,
He was D1 for a period of time until he busted his Achilles. I'm pretty sure. I think 3 years ago.
really,
Yeah, yeah. He was so go on to his just quickly. And I think it might be 23 or 22. Yeah, that's the insane year. He scored a 214 one round.
yeah,
He was just going
167,
ballistic.
102, 117, 13. It hurt not to have him, hey.
Yeah, and I think maybe the year. So it might
Wait, let me guess, you traded him in here after his Brisbane game
probably.
at the SCG?
No, I could never get him because look at his price. He was 678.
Yeah, you're
You
right.
know what I
He
mean?
was
It was like
hitting
Ryan
that
of last year.
700K. Yeah,
But
yeah,
anyway, if he's in the midfield, look, he's discounted. Um, so he has to be a lot. Um,
yeah.
I don't know why you would make a case for no.
And then we've got this spot, which is kind of just like a floating spot at the moment. Just trying to work out how this structure's kind of going to come all together. But I don't know who I'm going to put here at D4, but we'll work it out. Might be a rookie, and you take like a forward out. I actually have no clue. And then the rookies is just whoever is going to perform at the practice matches. But at the moment, I've got Sard, Leak, that Travalia everyone's talking about, in Bo Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, stock standard. I don't mind that at all.
yeah. And then midfield, I'm going Bont. I feel like you have to go Bont, don't you reckon? A lot of people are anti-potting, but I don't want to be caught with my pants down trying to fucking trade this guy in when I've got other things to worry about.
I just the only thing is, I guess, one is how he always went forward, and now Hagen, and I think Norton is back training now, but Hagen is a doubt to miss round 1. Could he be
Mhm.
chucked forward a lot more, which, yes, he could be, but he did that last year and he still scored what he scored,
Yeah, when he
Bont
went
is
down
Bont.
there, he was the main forward.
That's it. So no, I think he's gonna give me he's number one for a reason. Like,
Yeah. Also got Butters. I think Butters will be like M1 by the end of the year. I think he'll be the highest scoring player in the whole league.
I rate that.
Surely. Like
Yeah.
he's just coming through. This will be the year of Butters. I reckon he'll be Brownlow chance easily. Big year for Butters. And then, our boy that we are talking about before, Eddie Richards. Oh, this could have gone so well if Treloar didn't get injured.
Is it
Like,
seriously 2% still?
yeah, it's 2%. 2%
Well,
ownership on Ed Richards, which is wild.
that's beautiful.
It's
Keep
like,
it there.
it is.
Do not
Like,
pick him, everyone. Do not pick him. He's gonna do terribly.
like if you just look at last year's stats when he jumped into the midfield, he just has such a shit ceiling. Like he doesn't really get
Mm.
much of the pill. And I think against Sydney, he only scored a 77. Like
Nah, there was
fucking
one
terrible
game.
game.
No, I think that 77.
Shut up, Will, you fuckhead.
Oh, okay.
So
So,
he only
all right.
scored a 77, and it was just all right. I think he played the whole game and he didn't get injured at all.
Shut up, idiot. We're supposed to be. Come on. Are we going to tell them the truth or not? Well,
Nah.
let's actually let people research into that game. That's actually
Yeah, research into the Sydney game, but he has. And what's he coming into? Is this his 5th season or 4th season? Is this like
probably
prime
fifth.
now?
I think he is primed.
Like this
I
is
think it's
the
5th season. Yeah.
the year that players usually break out is like their 4th to 5th season. And where's he sitting? He's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this is his 7th season.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, 6,
I
7,
mean,
7.
it's been a stacked midfield as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Dunkley was there, Delore, Libba. It's a hard one to crack into, but I feel like he got, because I'm looking at it last year or 2023. He was just a half-back flanker.
Yeah.
So
He's
they've
never run through
obviously-
the middle.
Yeah,
Like,
and
look at this. Here we go.
well, McRae as well. If you got to mention him, Richards taking McRae a little bit. His time, that
Mate.
the keys have been given to Ed to make a difference, and I think the difference is going to be made this year. But what intrigues me about Richards is it's just his score involvements. Like,
Yeah.
he's around the ball. He's damaging.
He is. I'm so fucking bullish on him. Like, I think he's going to be an absolute fucking weapon cunt. But look at this. Look at this. When he has CBAs, 63, 61, 90, 62, 80, 93, 92, he's an average of 110.
Yeah. And that is probably, depends on Bevo. You can't predict stuff with Bevo, but Treloar out. I'll tell you what, he's going to get a bump.
Even with Treloar in, I think he would have been getting like around that 60, 70% CBAs. So I think he's a keeper as well.
Yeah, so we're even more up now. So
yeah,
we're looking at 80s?
Yeah, I think like 80s. He'd be up there with Bont and Libba, like the three that would just run through there.
Yeah, there's just
and doggies love to just keep their core midfield as well. Like they don't really rotate much people through there.
Nah, they do rotate it. They do rotate it. That's what the thing with Bevo is. Like, he pumps a lot of players in there. I guess those ones
he doesn't. Look at this.
I'm happy to be proven wrong on here.
How do I see the CBAs here?
The core CBAs, yes. As in, he might
that's what I'm saying.
every week.
So if we go to Bulldogs, Western Bulldogs, 2024, look at this. Like, you don't really see much else. It's just that core unit, Trelaw, Bont, Libba.
Yeah. Gallagher and Garcia. Sure.
Yeah, occasionally.
Yeah.
Would you agree though?
I mean, you are right. I thought as in those 4 are the only ones being used in the CBAs. Obviously,
No.
every um, stoppage, it would get rotated due to
And then
interchange and
like
all that.
Gold Coast, a little bit
Yeah.
of a spread.
Yeah,
What are
it's
the
pretty much
pies
the same
doing?
with everything, right? Everyone has the select 4 or
They
whatever.
do, but they don't. Like, look at fucking Frios.
Yeah.
Look at GWS. Jesus. So doggies love those just 4 unit and running through there. So I think
Yeah.
he's gonna fly. Anyway, enough about it. And then just classic Clary. Clary will be back. We've probably both seen him just absolutely hammering through.
How ripped does he look? Can we
Looks
just
elite.
I love him. I stuck by Clary through, the dark days and not, people were said last year, I'm sure of it, that he's, not a super coach option and he's sort of people are forgetting how good he was 2 years ago
Oh,
and the year before and the
it
year before
hurt.
and the year before
Hurt, not
and the
yeah.
year before.
And what's he own? What's his own percentage? Because if you don't have him in your team, it's pretty fucking silly, don't you think?
Yeah,
Like a 451 own percentage, Clary. Oh, he's one of the highest owned, 50%, 49%.
50%. Yeah,
So yeah, you're just going to be a stock standard.
you need
Will
him,
Ashcroft as well, after a big end to the season,
like him.
it's prime to go off. I like it. I think he would just stay there for me. And then classic Peatling as well. Going to get that role in the midfield, which will be really cool. And he hopefully gets some points. But I'm not 100% sold on it, but just his price is juicy, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
Um, and then for my ruck setup,
Oh,
I've
I've
gone
totally
different.
missed this. Holy shit.
I've gone Max
Jesus.
Gorn at R1 and then Flynn at R2. If Flynn
Oh,
plays,
no Cherry.
I'm
You're not picking Cherry,
not picking Sherry. I'm going Gorn over Sherry.
mate.
If Flynn plays, this will be my ruck setup. Because what? Let's just say Flynn's scoring like 90s,
Eight-
right?
80s or 90s. Yeah.
80s, 90s. That's fucking incredible for a rookie.
Yeah.
For 261. So you want him on field. Why do you want a rookie not on field there?
I mean, he would be put in the flex.
But I've got Andy Brayshaw in the flex.
Yeah.
And now I've got some method to the madness because this kind of comes into the strategy. I want to use a midfielder in the flex spot so I have more flexibility when doing trades later on. So if we've had Flynn in the flex spot here, for me to have flexibility in this spot, I would have to either trade out a ruck to then to swap him in there,
Yeah.
or that was it. But if I've got a midfielder in there, then I have more flexibility in swapping players all around the ground to trade in whatever players I want. For example, if I wanted to trade in someone from the back line, but I only had a midfielder who had heaps of cash on him, I could trade out a midfielder, put Andy Brayshaw in there, and then pull one of the backline people into my flex spot and then put someone straight into the backline. And I just feel like if you have a ruckman in your flex, you're just so limited. You're fucked. But yeah, I think that having a primo, then I don't even know if this is what it's gonna end up like. Like my team changes every single day. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go something like that. In terms of my
So
forward setup,
once
no.
Brayshaw's gone, I would
Mhm.
say, you're upgrading Smith, Smiley, or, any rookie from the mids. Would you
Mhm.
would you grab another midfielder? Um, you just grab any other rookie apart from a ruck. Is that essentially what your plan is?
Yeah. Yep. So
Yeah.
I would just kind of look at where the next best rookie is, because sometimes you're like, oh shit, I want to trade out Smith.
Yeah.
But the rookie, like the best rookie on the bubble right now, is in the back line.
Yeah.
So I would just trade out Smith, put Brayshaw into the midfield in Smith's spot, and then take someone out of the back line and put that rookie in the back line.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And so what's your thoughts on, so I'm sure you've seen a few power ruck setups where, say, you have Darcy instead of Brayshaw.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that? Because Darcy would be a a placeholder for the buys. So essentially, when say Gorn, it's a bit different because you actually haven't got Gorn and TDK, which have a buy on round 12. But that sort of the flex position can be used, to sort of save you during the buys. But I don't see many people.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. I feel like it's good to have a ruck there because rucks score well.
Yeah,
but there's no difference if Andy Brayshaw from Brio's there or Darcy from Brio's there. Like they're still going to take a spot, like fill in that spot who didn't play.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Is that right?
The only thing is, yeah, I do understand. And it would go back to Brayshaw probably scoring more than Darcy. But I think it's because of the matchups as well, that TDK, Cherry, and Darcy share. It's all good to BC and see them. And then Freo usually play the last games as well on the twilight sort of Sundays. But you could just do that for Brayshaw. You BC, you could captain Brayshaw really. Want to do that? That's a bit ballsy, but yeah. So I guess the flex position, I guess it's just what you make of it, really, isn't it? Like it's not.
It's so untapped.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be the make or break of like this first little period. And I was just saying, I wanted to ask you: is it best 18 or is it best 22 during the buys?
I think it's best 22 during the buys.
Can we confirm that? Because I listened to a podcast yesterday, and they said it was best 18.
Right.
And I was like,
the rules are
best
located.
18, is it? Because if it is, my team will change completely right now. Because at the moment, I'll do a little bit of strategy chat. Because it was best 22, and because we have so many great, like, of these cheaper premiums this year.
It's best 18.
It's best 18. Oh, my.
Yeah. So that's what I mean with, so that comes back to Whitfield, actually. Yeah.
So
it's
it kind
not
of
actually that bad.
So does this still work? Because the reason why I've done this, right, is because I wanted to just have, like, you know what I mean? Like you get the kind of mid prices in and then you have more overall points because everyone's playing. But if it's best 18, it really doesn't matter. Like you just want the guns.
Yeah. And
so for 2, 3, 5, and 6, it will be best 18.
Yeah. I had it there a minute ago, but I think it's best 18 for everything. Wait.
Yeah. So, give me 1 sec. Is it actually happened?
Look, I don't know. There's Shams reporting it, but then somebody's saying you've got hacked. And then all these players are saying that's the most insane trade I've ever seen. That can't be right. Everything is going crazy, right?
It's even on Bleacher Report. Traded.
What?
Luka Doncic to the Lakers and what? Luka, baby. That's the last person we needed in our team, but it's fucking fantastic.
What the fuck is going on? That is ridiculous.
Maybe AD's just had enough because Lakers just weren't getting the big man.
I reckon someone's hacked someone, surely. That just doesn't make sense.
Mavs have had major concerns about moving forward with Luka Doncic due to his constant conditioning issues and looming commitment to Another Supermax contract.
Huh. Yeah.
That is
I've just
fucking wild, cunt. Hopefully they trade LeBron now as well.
they, I don't. They've got no bigs now. Stupid.
Yeah.
They struggled with bigs anyway.
That's what I was saying. It's like the last person we wanted in our team.
Anyway,
Oh,
well, so I think you're on to the forwards anyway.
yeah.
I
So at
think
the
just
moment,
for the listeners, we've just heard about the NBA biggest trade of all time of Luka
ah,
Doncic getting traded for Anthony Davis, and we had to pause the pod to just have a quick discussion because Michael's a Lakers fan. I
I was I was actually just about to
It's not real.
message you today about the NBA, and I was gonna talk to you about how the Kings are going, but
Don't
we'll
talk
save
about
it
it.
for after the we'll save it for after the pod.
Don't talk about it.
Anyway,
Now, I
um,
think Rankin. Well, have you just put Rankin in there because you did that slight change?
no, I'm hot on. I'm pretty hot on Rankin this year.
Yeah.
Um, from
Instead
all
of instead of
reports,
the 21,
yeah, I'm anti-potting. It could hurt me.
I'm anti-potting. Oh, I'm not anti-potting. I just can't afford him in my team. But I would much rather Horny than Ranky.
Okay, so listen to this. For some reason, no one has paid attention to, or no one's. It's the same thing that's happening with Ed Richards. Okay,
Yeah,
no one was looking at anything to do with Rankin. Every single match report has like matched him, saying he's been best on. He's absolutely slaughtering it. Best at the training track. Best everything. You know what position he's playing in next year? He's
mid.
playing the exact same role that he played last year when he was slaughtering them. It's the exact same role he's playing. All reports are saying. Um, he's playing like floating forward and then running through the midfield, not having complete midfield rotation like he didn't have that last year. It was more like floating and then getting run through the midfield. And that was when he was fucking slaughtering them. He's playing the exact same role.
Yeah,
What do you think? I think now
I don't mind it.
I know Jay Horn Francis is a lock for top 6, right?
Yeah,
But what I'm saying is I don't need to get him yet. I'm just gonna anti-pod him and go Rankin first.
I don't mind it. And our mate Nathan lives in Adelaide, and always he basically because the radio over there is just Adelaide and Port, but
Mhm.
all they are doing apparently is raving about Rankin of how good his preseason is. He might take the next step. And the only thing that I said to my mate who is also picking Rankin is he, and I think he had a slight niggle in preseason as well, but that happens with every player anyway. But he is injury prone, but his potential is ridiculous. Like before he did his hammy, like that game against Collingwood, when he did his hammy, he absolutely destroyed Collingwood off his own shoot.
Right.
Um,
I
and
feel like
feet
I
and
feel
feet.
exactly. He kicks
Yeah.
goals and he runs the ground as well. I reckon next year is going to be a more refined, like better version of what we saw.
Yeah. Um,
And I think it's risky, but I don't think it's that risky. Like it's such an easy, like, okay, I fucked up. Horn Francis is fucking slaughtering
Straight to
them.
corner.
Just trade,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. That's all right. And not all these picks are going to work as well. Let's be honest.
Nah. But
Hopefully they all do. Yeah.
that's
I think
pretty much stock standard, hey?
that's exactly what I was going to say. It's everyone's pretty the same with that forward line. So Caleb
Yeah.
Daniel, F1, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Imagine. Um,
Lynch, hopefully dropping a couple 70s and
well,
80s
we'll
for
talk
us.
about Lynch later.
Yeah.
Lynch is interesting only purely for the fact that Richmond are going to be dog shit this year. So where are the goals actually going to come from? That's my opinion on Lynch. But
Yeah.
I've got him in my team as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you want to jump onto your team?
yeah, sure.
I'm so excited for this.
A little bit more. Nah,
Nah,
that's
that's
right.
perfect.
Yeah, so same as you, really, Sheasel and Whitfield. I think I did a small tinkering just before we came on because I did get bagged on by the same mate that I had a cookie cutter team, and then I was like, you know, everyone's actually has basically the same team from what I see, apart from a few midfielders and all that kind of stuff. And how could I, change it up? And I wanted
Mhm,
to fit Ed Richards in, and it actually, because he was a little bit more pricier, I had to think, it made me think, oh, who else can I probably get?
mhm.
Now, Shees and Whit, I'm his biggest fan, so I don't need to explain if the listeners last year, I love that man. I'd kiss him on the lips.
He's got
But
Sheasel at D1, Whitfield at D2.
yeah, sorry. So Sheasel one, D1, Whitfield D2. Short could be anyone. But
Now, we
I
were just
did not.
talking about this like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, Sh- Shorty. I think he has potential to get back to his best, but I was having a look at his stats and because I thought, oh, maybe because Richmond are so garbage this year, the ball will be down, um, you know, basically his end. But I did look at his stats last year and they weren't that good. The price, his price stat is pretty, I don't see a problem with it, but he did have the backline sort of half back position and his scores aren't the best. So, like for example, most of them are priced around the 80. Well, not priced, sorry, he's scoring around the 80 mark, and there's not much tons in there apart from probably round eight, 13, 14, and then 20 and 22, 24. So I'm a bit skeptical on short, and I could easily just dump him down to say a Josh Sin.
Mhm.
But my view on this season sort of strategy is potentially trying to get because there's still last year was like sort of a value season. Wouldn't you agree that most of the value players popped off?
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you do you agree? Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of the guns kind of carried people's on that best 18 bit. It was really guns and
Yeah.
rookies, and then it went into that next tier of the value picks popping off.
Yeah, and so that's the thing that I've got to factor in. I guess I can easily cull short because I did have Ashcroft in my team, but I have um, Peatling and a few other mid prices that I'll get onto. But I thought to myself, well, if I can try and squeeze out another, because when I look at the rookies, I know Trevelyan might play, Bo Allen's highly rated, but so like there's not much real other rookies that maybe you want to risk on field as well for the defense. And I guess preseason will tell you, confirm that information and even tell you how short is going. But I feel like um, maybe the mid rookies you could get away with it, and maybe the forwards. But I feel like the defense is a little bit slim unless you go say an extended rookie like Sin or Schoenmaker. But it's all guesswork, like I said. So I think Mills is definitely a lock who I've got in there, but I think Short can definitely be swapped out for a Sin, and maybe I put cash elsewhere.
Do you
Um,
rate, and
yeah,
we'll talk about this next episode when we go over all the players, but do you rate like Sin that highly to have him as an on-field option at what 200 and something K I think he is,
230 something or 229 or
which
something
is
like that.
which is expensive for a guy
Yeah,
who
it is.
might
But
not be that good.
when I look at when I look back on it, we loved well, we didn't love we faded Massimo D'Ambrosio. He was
Mm.
the same price, and he actually ended up being a good, you know, player, even at a extended price. I think Showmaker's a little bit different conversation because he's 280. So I guess
Mm.
like if you're wanting him to be sort of a cash cow, I guess he's really got to average
The
probably
80
80,
to
doesn't he?
90s, yeah, he
Yeah,
really
and that
does. Otherwise,
so I
it's gonna be
think
super slow.
so you're either backing him for a breakout or um, not picking him. I think Sin's a different category where you can maybe take a punt. Apparently, he's playing halfback in the ones.
Mm.
I really like him, and I think he could definitely be short and I upgrade elsewhere. for the team because I do love some forwards that I'll get onto later. Um, the mids stock standard similar, basically similar to you,
Mhm.
except for the rookies, I've gone a few that are at an extended price like Sheldrick and Nevitt.
Mhm.
And I've also got Ollie Hollands in the flex position because apparently he's playing half back and looking all right. And Newman's gone now, so they've obviously identified him as the replacement. So I think having Hollands there will allow me to I think you've got to play Smith and Smiley. It's obviously guesswork, but those two are. I feel like you still got to play them in your team. Surely, they can't be benched.
I Yeah, I feel like though you can though, because do you reckon they could just burn us?
They
Like
could. So that's the whole point, I guess. Is
I'm so
if I
scared
did,
that they're gonna be massive burn mans. But I'm gonna put them in my team. Everyone's got them. If we get burnt, everyone gets burnt. But
yeah,
I don't mind like having one of them off field and then having like an Oliver Hollands in
yeah,
there to
instead.
push one of them out.
And
Yeah.
so that's why I had Ollie Hollands in the flex position. So that could easily change and say get Flynn in at 3 or figure it out. Once I figure it out. But I
Mhm.
think, and that we'll see how they go. But I think the rookies, they're just so unpredictable. So I guess the value is there of going to Hollands, and you know what he's going to pump out. And if it
Yeah.
does go to shit, similar to your Rankin, um, pick, you can move off that. So I guess that's what's handy about the early season. You can try and pick a strategy, and if it works, that's great because you'll be smashing the ranks. But if not, you can maybe just try and recorrect somehow with a boost, say. But
And
I think, yeah,
from us now learning that it's like best 18 in those and not best 22,
yeah.
does that change the way you're going to structure everything and the way you're going to have like
Well, I think
so much
value,
value?
yeah, and I'll have to look at how many keepers. Well, I guess the having Hollands there, he may actually end up as a keeper.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'd have to have a look at it to be honest, because
I don't think Collins will be a keeper. I'm just saying.
I think he could maybe average 90 and then get put in the defense,
I don't think
and
he's a
then
keeper. I
and
think
then
you got to trade him out.
at the boost. Sorry, not at the boost, at like the mid-season.
You want to trade him, yeah, but at least before the buys.
Mid-season, yeah. I think he'll definitely make 150k. Well, not definitely, but I think he is a shout to make
What's he?
150k.
What's he priced at the moment? Can you click his name so we can see?
333.
Yeah, but what's his? How much is that? Is that 61? A 61, true.
Yeah. So he's average 61. I mean, if he's got the halfback, Nick Newman was a star back there.
It's actually a good call.
Unless,
So, like, if he's because they've obviously given him so much more responsibility, a little bit better of a
yeah,
role. All he has to do
yeah,
is average that
that's
80 to 90, and he probably makes 150k.
yeah, and maybe 120, but still 100. You want 120 to 150 sort of made.
And
Even 100 really.
it's
100,
different this year because all the players are cheaper.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So it would go down to you only need like a rookie to make you 100k or 120k.
yeah, and I think I think he could make 100k if he's ever priced at 60. But yeah, I think the best 18. I'll have to look into that because of obviously that would change a lot of things. But I think if you do have the value, you would be better off, wouldn't you? Because
But you'd lose
um,
out. You'd lose out to someone with guns.
but if you've got still rookies, say 1, 2, 3, so Lynch, Hewitt, and Stone, that's 3. And then you got Smith, Smileys. So what's that? 5, 6, 7, Bowen and Trevelyan. Do you know what I'm saying? That's with the value team. So I assume there would be more rookies if you're paying price for your
Yeah, you'd
um,
probably have like 2 extra rookies. You'd probably be Peatling would
extra
be a rookie, and then you would
and
upgrade,
Hollands.
and Hollands, and then you would upgrade like an Ed Richards, probably not Ed Richards, but like a Short to a Sinclair or something.
Yeah, so it'd still be beneficial to have it during the buy period. I think it would be better than the other way around
Yeah,
because
okay.
you would have less rookies on there.
But from what we saw last year,
Yeah,
the teams that like slaughtered and did really
yeah,
well at the start were the people who went guns and rookies, then transitioned into value.
right.
What do you think?
Well, it did work last year, didn't it? Because a lot of
Mm,
people chose Luke Ryan. Matt Rowell was dominating.
hmm And they
There was
had
a fair
like
few.
3 players not playing every week, but it didn't matter because they just had
Yeah,
guns.
yeah,
Remember, we were like, "Gotta get the killers in."
yeah, yeah. That's our saying, wasn't it? The
Yeah.
killers, not the weapons, the killers.
So
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 it's all. I mean, this is, it's just the start, and our teams are gonna, they're going to change about 150 times.
completely change.
I think I went value last year, and I think it did. I don't think it worked as well as I hope. Um,
Mm,
so I'll have
same.
to
We
think
both went
about it.
value.
But I think at the end of the day, you can just cull, Short, or Hollands, Peatling, or Baz, one of the two, and get a couple more good players in. And I think you'll be right. I'll look at the averages and all that kind of stuff, see if it's a play or not. I guess it's all everything you have to factor in if you want a good start of the season.
Mm. And quickly to all the listeners, I know we're pushing on some time here, but if you've made it this far, and I'll make this into a reel so everyone knows. At the end of last year, Will made a silly bet. He made a bet that Sean Manor was going to be top 6. Okay.
I was
Uh,
getting excited from his. I remember when it was sent. It was when he actually helped me win that grand final, and
top
you know,
6.
I had a couple of beers and yeah, top 6. But you were saying that I meant mid. I didn't mean mid. I've got a SuperCoach podcast. I meant forward.
So that's okay,
I
though.
but
It's
I
still
have
top
heard
6.
he's injured. I've heard he's injured at the moment. So um, I would like.
Easy
Well, that's a void
slap.
in sports bet. In sports bet, when people get injured, you do get your money back. So if you can,
Fuck no, he'll play again. He'll play this year.
oh god, we'll go
But
by averages to make it fair. We'll go by
there's
averages.
no fucking way. It was top 6, baby.
Uh,
Anyway, he said it was going to be top 6 forward. I said that's bullshit. So he we put a slab on it that he would be top 6, and I
yeah.
said I'll take that bet every day of the week, mate. But
Well,
anyway,
I will let the listeners just decide if I can have a little bit of leeway, like just 8 to 10. Just if a couple of people pinch in and say 8 to 10, will you allow it?
top 8 to 10.
Yeah, forwards.
I'll give you top 8 if people
Yeah.
message in.
All right. I'll create a couple of YouTube accounts and comment on it.
Nobody will get this far.
Yeah, they won't be. They won't be. But Rux, I think Cherry is a lock for me. I didn't have him last year. He's just unbelievable, and I think he might even be All Australian this year. He really found form throughout the year.
What are you
TDK,
going
I'm
to
not.
do? Sorry, what are you going to do
Yep.
when Maxi Gorn is pumping out 200s and you've got silly old Sherry?
I'm not. Cherry is the king, mate. He is better than Gorn this year or last year. He was better. Cherry will still be good, mate. I would rather Cherry than Gorn in my team. I'm being honest.
Really?
And Gorn has had an injury interrupted preseason.
Doesn't even matter.
TDK, let's just quickly talk about TDK. I think
Go.
I read a little bit that he tweaked his ankle or something. So he, in a simulation or training, he was playing with Pitto, on the same team. which I
Mhm.
think is going to happen because they need, to just try everything. I think he might be. Well, you'd assume he's the main ruck, wouldn't you? I think they were playing better with
You
him in the ruck.
would assume, but
Um,
there could be a chance that they're both in the same team.
yeah, and I think if they are in the same team and it's round when you're picking your team and the team sheets say Pito's in there, I think I'll fade that pick and I'll go Sean Darcy. Um, I I think that's the go unless I just jiggle the team around and try and get Gorn in there. But if he's got any sort of split ruck, I think he's going to be out in my team. But he was just nuts last year, rucking by himself. He's just he's an elite player, and apparently he's out of contract this year or next year, so hasn't re-signed at Carlton.
He's going to be the biggest burn man.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have no
I
faith in
love it.
TDK this year. I'm completely he's not coming
I
in my
don't. I
team.
don't hate that. I actually don't hate it. Because I'm skeptical on the pick. I'm not as strong as I am with all the others. Um, but his stats last year when he was rucking by himself are hard to ignore. Put it
It's
that way.
hard to ignore,
Um,
but I'm going to say one thing. If let's just say he's playing all right, and then they go round 4, let's see what he's like with Pitnet in the team.
that is right.
And then they
Yeah.
play well. They don't give a fuck about SuperCoach. They play well. He's TDK is still the main ruck, and then it's just like that for the rest of the year.
I mean, we're close to finishing anyways, but just a small dig at Carlton. Like, wasn't he the sub at semi final last year?
He was.
Pretty So that factors in even well, he was coming off an injury, I'm pretty sure. But as soon as he came on, to be fair, he absolutely lit the game
Yeah.
fire. But you'd have to think that they've realised that he's the ticket to their sort of success. But you can't predict it, so I don't have any issue with their fade. I don't mind Sean Darcy though, even though the reports that he went to Doha, wasn't it? He
Hey,
got
mate.
his
Even
yeah. It's a
so did
tough.
Yo. It's the signs.
Exactly. So did McGovern.
I'm
S-
considering going for
So did
Darcy
McGovern.
just
So
because
did
of that.
McGovern.
I know.
And so did DeGoey.
This
DeGoey's a wait and see.
this is why I've actually been considered putting him in my team just because he went to Doha. It was Qatar.
And
Qatar.
and two, he's got the best buy, doesn't he? I'm pretty sure he
Yeah,
shares it with St.
they got the
Yeah.
best buy.
I had Sean Darcy in my team as a power ruck setup for the thing I just mentioned on your team. And it was like TDK, Cherry, and Darcy. But
Mhm.
oh, look, we better stop talking about it because the more we talk about it, I'll just get brainwashed and fade TDK. And it's
Yeah.
probably not the wisest, but it could be. I
Fade
mean,
him.
his first matchup is Richmond. That's Nank. But if we just quickly look up his matchups, so he actually has the round 2 bye, which is not optimal, but you have Flynn and all that kind of stuff. And then if you're in your position, you wouldn't even have to worry about it. But it's Richmond, North, Freo, Adelaide. So I'm pretty sure Richmond is easy to score against. Score against for the Rucks. Then he versus Cherry, and then he's got Sean Darcy, then he's got Riley O'Brien, which I think Adelaide are pretty easy, and then he's got Briggsy and
Hey,
um,
and Briggsy's probably got over the breakup with his missus, so he's going to be playing a lot better this year.
how have you found that out?
Hey, that's
Jesus
why he was
Christ.
playing so bad last year. He had some head noise, broke up with his missus, didn't rock up, didn't want to train, it really hit him. But this year, he's a new man. Trust me, Kieran
I
Briggs.
I do remember, and we can end on this, but I remember Toby Green saying at his at the Best and Fairest for JWS, and um, it was basically saying don't come back fat, and then Toby Green's just looked at Briggsy and saying, "Talking to you, Briggsy."
All right,
Anyway,
we'll
I
wrap it up on
I
that, huh?
think we'll wrap it up, but yeah, work in progress. It's definitely not the final draft. But don't mind the value. It's intriguing.
It is. All right. Well, thanks for listening. We're going to do another pod in 1 or 2 days with all about other players. What are we doing in it? Oh, the top players in every line, and then all the hidden killers that
Gems.
nobody's talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah. So, get anything to say, Will?
Ah, see you
Right.
soon.
They are.